Hello. Welcome back to another week of Zuchi's Book Club. Yippee. This week we're starting a new book, Attached, by Mira Levine and Rachel S.F. Heller. There are three main attachment styles: secure, anxious, and avoidant. Secure is basically someone that's comfortable with intimacy, that's warm and loving. An anxious attachment style is roughly just like someone that craves intimacy, they're preoccupied, and they worry a lot about their partner's ability to love them. While an avoidant attachment style is someone that sees intimacy as like a loss of independence, and they desire to minimize closeness. Attachment styles may change as you go. Like the book mentioned, like over a period of like 4 years, 1 in 4 people would change, but it's kind of something that's sort of set in stone, but it is also heavily influenced by your environment. They talk a lot about how the role of your parents and how like they treated you will really affect your attachment style. We'll go more in depth into that later. Just want to put out the key points of like codependence isn't necessarily bad. Psychologically, you become one with your partner, and it is reassuring to know, or like paradoxically, it's reassuring to know that there is someone always there for you, so you can do things more. So it makes you somewhat more independent in a way. Although, you know, the caveat to that is obviously, you know, you have someone that, you know, you will have to spend more time with, kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of the introduction. Part 1, basically just talking about the science of like how to apply these attachment styles. Try a test, see what your attachment style is. You know, an anxious person loves to be close, but they fear an imbalance. Their mood fluctuates a lot as a result of their partner. Secures are less worried and are more effective at responding to cues. Avoidants want to be close, but they want to keep people at a distance. In a sense, they worry little about rejection and relationships. In terms of cracking the code, the book kind of wants you to shift your mindset to do they like me rather than is this someone, or shift your mindset from do they like me to is this someone I can invest in emotionally. You know, the book has a couple golden rules. What are they seeking? Do they care about your interests, or are they keeping you at bay? Are they seeking intimacy or closeness, kind of thing? Preoccupation. Are they affected by your words? Do they worry about like your faithfulness, your sensitivity towards distancing? Looking at the bigger picture is also very important. If a married person doesn't want you meeting their kid, kind of thing, or not married person, like someone that has been previously married with kids in the relationship, if they don't want you meeting their kids yet, think about like the reason why. Like, it's obviously probably not going to be healthy for the kid to like keep meeting new like boyfriends, right? But if they're willing to talk about it, then, you know, that's a sign that like, you know, they aren't afraid. It's just like it's genuine worry about the kid. Don't like just single in or lock in on like that one action, I guess. Assess reactions with communication. Anxious people will treat you as their line. They fear overstepping, while avoidance will be less comfortable with increased intimacy. Secures will accommodate your needs. Listen and look for an action. Think also about what they don't do. You know, the book's example was like New Year's saying like, oh, I can't wait to spend this New Year with you. I love you. And then the person just didn't respond and they broke up like a couple months after. So, you know, there's that kind of thing. Part 3, the 3 attachment styles. As previously stated, there are primarily 3 attachment styles: anxious, avoidant, and secure. There is another one, but that one is very rare. It's essentially like one that's in flux between anxious and avoidant. I think it was turbulent or something they said. Basically, like, you know, between those two. Going first, the anxious attachment style. Activating strategies are basically the need to establish closeness in the anxious attachment style. Activating strategies manifest in many ways, such as believing the relationship is your only chance at love. While protest behaviors are the excessive attempts to reestablish contact. Protest behaviors manifest in many ways, such as withdrawal, keeping score, and attempts at jealousy, that kind of stuff. Anxious attachment styles tend to attract avoidance. The issue is that they can mistake those the needs to establish closeness from the activation strategies or activating strategies as true love, because like when you're in a more secure relationship, you won't have that feeling because, you know, they'll be meeting your needs, and then you'll think like, oh, do I not crave them, kind of thing. The tips for anxious attachment styles are basically acknowledge your needs and remember that there are a lot of wonderful people out there. Don't misinterpret boredom with the idea that it isn't true love. The avoidant attachment style, the opposite side of the coin, the deactivating strategies, basically the need to keep the distance in the relationship. They aren't as free-spirited as it seems, and they have a strong belief in finding the one. Tendency to break down in stressful relationships, just like the anxious attachment style. The book gives 8 kind of strategies to working through being an avoidant. Identifying the deactivating strategies, basically like what you do to try to keep someone at arm's length. De-emphasize your self-reliance and focus on mutual support. Like, don't think like, oh, I can't do this with my partner because blah, 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 because I need to be like all on my own, kind of thing. You know, the tip that the book always says is just find someone that's secure. Like, you know, be aware of the tendency to misinterpret behaviors. Create a gratitude list for your partner, kind of thing. Like, you know, think about what they do well and what you like about them. Nix the phantom X of, it's basically like in the same boat of, you know, the next one, forget the one. Like, don't compare your current partner with the past of like, oh, this is what they could be doing better, kind of thing. And then the last one is adopt the distraction strategy. Basically, one-on-one time might make you uncomfortable, but if you're doing something like, I don't know, shopping, it'll take your mind off of it and help you get closer through those activities and stuff. Lastly, the secure attachment style. They're great conflict busters that are quick to forgive and secure in their ability to improve. They're available, they don't interfere, and they're very encouraging. Their biggest weakness is that they tend to have the belief that, like, you know, everything can be fixed. And the detriment to that is basically like they'll stick around in relationships they shouldn't stick around in for their personal well-being. Like the book's example was like someone whose like significant other like constantly berated them and like cheated on them, and like it wasn't until she filed for divorce that he realized like all these issues, because, you know, in his head it's like everything can be worked out. The interesting things about the book that were also mentioned was basically that two secures don't make the relationship like more effective. So basically they can go with anything, and there's no like tangible difference. They're less sensitive to negative cues, and you know, they're yeah. That's basically all I got through this week. A lot of the books things are examples, so it's kind of hard to cut down everything into these slides, I guess. Like it's like application of like, oh, this is an example of someone that's secure, someone that's anxious, someone that's avoidant, all that jazz. I guess this book also gave a section on like finding out what you are and what they are, so like that might be useful. I haven't looked into what the following chapters are, but honestly, it's an interesting book because like some of the examples are crazy. Like a lot of statements that like you'll think in your head or like subconsciously, I guess. Like I was talking with my friend, and he said, or like, you know, we went through the example questions or whatever, and like a lot of those statements he was thinking like, oh, I didn't realize I said that, kind of thing. And I mean, yeah, like he's still a very secure guy, so it's interesting that like it's very much a spectrum. They use the like a Cartesian plane kind of thing. Like secures are secure, but they're not like, it's not like a absolute like you're 100% this, you're 100% that. Oh, also, I guess one thing that I do want to mention, the interesting anecdote the book had, dating will be hard. You'll feel like you won't find the secure, even though secures are like 50% of the population, according to the book. That's because, think of it like a fishing pool, like a fishing pond. Like if everyone fishes up the fish, you know, and there's like sharks only left, you're gonna put the shark back in, kind of thing. Well, this is not the example they use, but like basically, avoidance and anxious people typically go back into the dating pool rather than like secures don't date for very long, kind of thing. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope to see you next week for probably the rest of the book, I guess. We'll see.